Okay friends, let's discuss a little on exam strategy. Though it is basically managing your 3 hours 15 minutes, but I will take a 360-degree view now, complete. So I divide the discussion in 3 parts. Before the exam, during the exam, and after the exam. Don't get surprised. What to do after the exam? There are few things, few suggestions. So we'll start from here. Generally, CA final students, as you people, you get around 2.5 years to plan. Am I right? The moment you clear intermediate or IPCC and join CA final, and you start your articleship, correct? Your first attempt is after 2.5 years. If I mistake not, that is the present rule. So first possible attempt is after 2.5 years, which can be very nicely planned, and you should try to appear for both the groups together as far as possible, and it depends upon individual capability either to go for either of the group 1, group 2, that's your choice, but one should try to appear for both the groups together because you have lot of time to do planning. Now out of these 2.5 years, some time has already passed now, but still I am discussing from zero, as I said. How to do this 2.5 years planning, gross approximate planning, that comes in this before the exam. So before the exam is planning, and naturally I am a believer of planning with execution, because a plan without execution is of no use. And if you remember that sentence, for planning go to Delhi and for execution go to Tokyo, that shouldn't happen. It should be planned and executed here in India, then only it will work. And I always suggest that make a workable plan. Don't make a superficial plan which is not workable at all. Don't make that plan. For example, let's consider in the gross planning of 2.5 years. 2 years is basically to be used for first time study, I would say, first time study. This first time study could be either attending the classes like you have been attending, or doing the self study on your own, either or. It depends upon you. So I will come to this point. 2 years. Out of 6 months left, 4 months revision. This is just a gross plan from my side. This is naturally, this can be altered depending upon your individual need and suitability. And last 2 months, self testing. This is the breakup of utilization of 2 years, 6 months. This is suggested breakup. I am repeatedly saying this plan can be altered and can be converted into the plan which is most suitable to you, but it should be an implementable plan, whatever is suitable to you. Now, what should we do in these first 2 years? What planning has to be done? As you have got 8 papers, you have to first decide that for these 8 papers, do you need external help, means coaching, external help means coaching, or can you do it on your own? Majority response in your generation is now all the 8 subject coaching, but this was not the case in our era. In our era, hardly 1 or 2, 3 subjects, practical subjects we used to get coaching, that also only 1 coaching class. Remaining all, by default we used to do it on your own, especially the theory subjects. By default, there was no option available in those days. I am talking about around 25 years back, in our days, 25, 30 years back. Today, you have lot of alternatives and for all subjects, and multiple alternatives for each subject. On the contrary, more options, more confusion. This could be a state. So spend 1 week, spend 15 days in carefully deciding what, make a list of 8 subjects and take the feedback of all concerns from your seniors, from others, whatever you want to do, whatever research on website, everything you first do it and finalize which subject, what is the mode of study. Means, do you want help, external help, or you want to do it self? For all 8 papers, that decision has to be taken. So, suppose paper 1, you think that I need coaching, then which teacher? Decide this after doing lot of survey, using lot of feedbacks, spend time of 15 days I am saying in doing that survey, but then come to a conclusion that for this subject this is the preferred teacher. If you want external help, then for that teacher, whether it is possible to join live batch or virtual batch or that video lectures, pen drive coaching, whatever, that mode of learning also to be decided. Suppose paper 2, you think no, this I can do it on my own, example. Then from which literature, means whether you want to do it from institute's literature or you want to refer a standard book, then which book, which author's book. It means make a list of those 8 papers and finally take a concrete decision after doing lot of survey and prepare that plan for 8 subjects. Generally this decision should not be changed very frequently unless there is an emergency, otherwise majority time will go in only making the plan. I said spend 1 week, spend 15 days, talk to the people, talk to the friends, talk to the seniors, do survey on internet, do everything which you can, but then decide a plan for which subject, what is the mode for your first time study, either self study or external help. Once that plan is ready, now start implementing that plan. Generally most of the CE final students, they opt for, in the beginning they join which subject, like this one, strategic cost management, financial reporting, I think strategic financial management. These subjects are done first because in these subjects amendments are very low. There are no amendments actually, there are only additional questions which keep coming, but there are no amendments like direct tax and indirect tax. So majority students keep direct and indirect tax at the end, so that you study the latest assessment year before the exam, and that is a correct policy also. So direct tax, indirect tax, for that matter even corporate law can be kept at little end. So few subjects in the beginning, middle and end. This entire planning for one time study for 8 papers should be planned within 2 years. If you divide 2 years, that is 24 months divided by 8 subjects, 24 months divided by 8 subjects, 3 months per subject, and I think 3 months are required approximately per subject for first time study, correct? Now my suggestion is for those who are doing genuine articleship, naturally not dummy articleship, assuming majority of you do genuine articleship. Now articleship time already consumes lot of time. So my suggestion would be, as you have planned for 8 subjects in 24 months, that is 3 months per subject, this 3 months either you will use morning time or evening time, not both. Means suppose classes have to be taken, coaching is to be taken, either join morning batch or join evening batch, not both. Joining both is so to say very hectic. The student who is doing articleship and he joins one subject's batch in the morning and one subject in the evening, what will be the schedule? Get up early at 5:30 in Pune like city and then travel to this place, morning lectures finish, from here office you are already exhausted with the work, come back again, evening lecture, go back home, when you will revise, when you will do homework, and if you fall ill, matter is finished. So this will become very hectic for those who are doing articleship. So my suggestion is either attend in the morning or in the evening, and if your office time is such which does not allow you to do planning neither in the morning nor in the evening, it may happen, then opt for video lectures straight, so that you will be little flexible. When you get time in the morning, study in the morning, or if you get time in the evening, study in the evening. Or like 3 hours lecture, you can study 1.5 hour in the morning, 1.5 hour in the evening. Means I am saying one subject at a time in 3 months, not 2 subjects at a time. So in 3 months, either you will utilize morning time or evening time to cover one subject. 3 months, one subject. 8 subjects will consume your 24 months. So 2 years have gone just in doing what? First time coaching. either through coaching or through self study, whatever it is, whatever it is. One more thing is an advice actually, but whether it is implementable or not is difficult, but if you can do that, it will help you later on, and that is when you are studying that subject for the first time, either self or coaching, both. First time study includes either of the mode. Please try to prepare summary notes in other small notebook for each subject. For example, like we discussed, we started with chapter 6. So, the moment I finish chapter 6, you have to make a summary notes in chapter 6, what are the important points or important formulas. Important points to remember or important formulas, accident spots, what are different decision making situations, whatever means whatever you think are important key points, those key points have to be noted down in a summary notes. Naturally, it has to be a summary. So, such big notes should be transferred into 1/5 summary notes, key points. For every chapter, as you go on completing one by one chapter, keep preparing summary notes in one notebook for each subject for preparing summary notes. Let us take another example. Let us say audit subject. Somebody has planned that audit subject I will study on my own. Example again, that I will study on my own, and after consulting lot of people, suppose you reach to a conclusion that institute's module itself is very good. Again example. Right? Do not take all this as I am recommending anything, I am just quoting the examples. So, if you find that okay, for self study institute's module is good, so you have started reading that module. Now, once you start reading, again jot down the summary points for theory subject, that this is the heading, these are 8 points, these are 7 points, these are 5 points, important points. We used to call it as précis writing sometimes, I think in schools and colleges beginning. Précis writing means converting the large paragraph into a smaller one. So, do this précis writing or summary notes. If I talk in Hindi, it will be very easy. It will be very easy to tell this. What is this summary notes? छाछ बिलोकर मक्खन निकाल के रख लेना है. Extract the gist out of it. Go on doing at the time of first time study itself, because the moment time goes, you will forget what you had studied. And my advice will be, because I have studied using that pattern only, my advice would be study for the first time carefully, logically. It should be first and last study. I have seen some people, they say what, that okay, this is my first time study, I will then go for second reading, I will go for third reading. Where is the time, tell me? Where is the time, tell me? So, people realize that we will come back, we will return back. So, whenever you are doing first time study, self or coaching classes, do it with 100% concentration. Give justice. Understand the things on the spot itself, in first stroke itself. You will not get second chance. You will not be left with time to come back and study everything again. I think our batch took more than 3 months to complete the syllabus without wasting much of the time in the classroom. If you want to go through it again, how much time you will need? Again 3 months, who can give? So, do that carefully. It should be logical study with understanding. Understanding is more important. Even subjects like audit can be understood, but you have to correlate it, what you are studying, and you have to try and visualize and do the correlation with practical life, so that you can understand it better. So, it should be effective study, study with understanding. It is not study just for the sake of studying, and this is one mistake which some students make, right. One time and last time study, at the same time your brief notes are getting ready, summary notes are getting ready for future use. I have come across some students, as nowadays these video lectures are available, even mine are available, every faculty is available. People, they just buy video lectures. Suppose some student has purchased 4 video lectures of group 1, each subject. The moment that student purchases video lectures, he feels my group 1 is over. This is the reaction. Means buying the lectures is group 1 is over. With this assumption they buy. I think it is a wrong policy. Buying makes it complete, they have understood the subject, who will study them? And the disadvantage of video lecture, the advantages are many. Advantages are, you have flexible timing, If you are sent to outstation audit, you can carry the lectures with you on your laptop. That is the advantage. You never miss the lecture, so that you never miss the link also. These are advantages. Convenience is an advantage. Not missing the lecture is an advantage. You save travelling time is an advantage of video lectures, which we call as pen drive lectures. Only one disadvantage, because the button is with you. Some students are not sincere. Those who are not disciplined, what happens with the video lectures? People do fast forward, people skip, and you would have realized in my subject, if you miss one link, it has got a repercussion in next discussion or next question. So, there is something which is left in between due to fast forwarding, or okay, theories, it is boring, let us skip, but then everything is important and everything has a linkage. So, what people try to do, as the button is in their own hand, they do not devote the time which is required. Like if you would have realized, I am making you read the question second time in the classroom, I am making you think and try on your own first. This time I am giving, actually this is a blank time. Do you think the students who will be watching my video lectures, they will also be thinking in that much time and doing some rough work? What they will be doing majoritarily? As I am not saying anything, I am just giving you a time to think. They will fast forward. Means what will happen again? They will again start listening from where I am developing the solution. It means I am reading the question, I am understanding the question, I am solving it, and somebody is taking down only. Now what will happen in the exam hall then? Tell me. Then everything is found easy in the classroom, and then everything is found difficult when you go to the exam hall, because you have never developed the habit of reading, interpreting, thinking. This is the disadvantage. I always suggest the students sit with the video lectures as if you are attending a live class. Always tell this. Otherwise, you will not be able to get the maximum benefit out of video lectures. I have seen very few students, but very few, they even do not write, they have not prepared the notebook also. It means they have purchased the video lectures for listening, because there is no one to compel them to write, no? Means they are watching it like a movie and they are listening, that is all, not writing. This subject, if a student has never written down the answer, never used the calculator to do the calculation, he is just seeing how teacher is teaching, whether teacher is developing correct solution, yes, teacher can solve the question. Will that serve the purpose? Listening to the practical subject? If it is theory subject, once it is okay. Even in theory subject, you should jot down the important points. This is the story of practical subject. I have seen few students, their notebook, there are no notebooks, they have not prepared the notebook, because they have purchased video lectures. So, video lectures are helpful only for the students who are well disciplined. Indisciplined students will end up getting nothing, will be a wastage of time. Anyway, my point was, whenever you do this first time study through whatever mode, let it be live batch, let it be virtual batch, let it be video lecture, let it be self study, please give your 100%. You are not going to get time again to return back to this. And at the same time, make summary notes. These summary notes will be helpful here. How will you revise the whole subject, because as a human being we tend to forget. Even if I stop teaching, I will forget the subject, I am also a human being. The subject which you have studied first, in these 2 years, in the first 3 months you attended first subject, by the time 2 years are over you will forget. You would have noticed in our batch, first chapter which we discussed, by the time we concluded the batch you have forgotten what was discussed earlier. So what will happen till the exam time? You have to revise, and there is nothing wrong. I am saying even I will forget, I am also a human being, everyone. It means you should reserve the time for revision, and I think revising this whole again, time is not there. So what will be helpful now? Your summary notes will be helpful to do the revision, and you can practice good questions. Generally I tell you to put some star marks sometimes. You can select few questions from each chapter to revise, and that is how you have to do the revision. And see how much time for revision is available. 4 months for 8 subjects. So can I say half month per subject? It means 15 days per subject. I think 15 days are required for doing the revision for each subject. And if you are taking 2 subjects in one day, means you will get 1 month. In 1 month you will revise 2 subjects. So you can choose the combination of theory, practice and something, whatever you like, either one subject revised full or 2 subjects per day, but not many subjects per day, 2 is maximum per day for revision. And you will have to start revising, and at that time the summary notes will be helpful. See why I am discussing all this, when people join the articleship and they say CA final exam is after 2.5 years, we have long time, exam is due after 2.5 years, so we will see that time. What you will see at that time? Where is the time? Nobody is ready to do this plan, make this plan. So 15 days per subject for 8 subjects, 4 months are required for revision, and this is very important, self testing, putting yourself under examination condition and actually writing the papers. For this, either you can do it on your own, meaning download the institute's question papers of earlier attempts, set the clock. By this time you will get the leave also from articleship, exam leave I suppose, during last 6 months. Some firms may give the leave for 2 months, some may give for 3 months, some may give maximum for 6 months, minimum for 2 months, depends upon firm to firm, and how much was your absenteeism in these 2 years, that also will decide your leave, whatever it is. And for dummy entire 2.5 years is a leave only. So it depends upon individual, but I am talking considering articleship. So by this time you will be little free from articleship, so you can utilize more time, but do self testing, either downloading the question papers. Model papers are also set nowadays by the institute, I think model test papers are set, right, which are available on the website of the institute with model answers also. So that can be downloaded, but set the clock and write the paper sitting under exam condition, though you are doing it at home. Do it under exam condition and write it down. Write the answers even of theory subjects like audit, like law. Nobody is willing to write. Nobody is willing to write. You tell any student to appear for test series of audit and law, DT, and write the paper. Nobody is willing to, and that too self study. I mean, doing a compulsion on self. Nobody. But don't you think this experience you have to go through in the exam hall? So why don't you do it at home? I mean to say, whatever trial you want to do, self testing is appearing for the exam, mock test papers, that is trial without any risk, but do it at home to understand your weaknesses and strengths. Generally students don't listen to this and they say we will manage it in the exam hall. It means you are going to do trial directly in May or November. You have not done it earlier. You want to directly do the trial in exam, but that trial is at a cost of 6 months. And if you would have done this trial at home, it is without any cost. Either do it on your own or join the paid test series. If you think that by paying the money it will be a compulsion on you to go and somebody else, some third person will evaluate your paper, no problem. There are test series available, paid test series are available, online test series are nowadays I think available. I think nowadays it is available on due to technology. You can solve the paper, send the scanned copy and they will check and return back. That is also available nowadays sitting at your home. See, mode of doing this you decide. I am not talking about mode of this study, mode of this self testing. You do whatever mode you like, whatever way you like, but do it. Minimum you should appear 2 papers of each subject or each paper. 8 papers into 2 tests minimum means 16. 16 minimum I said. If possible 4 papers of each means 8 into 4. If you do 8 into 4 it is 32 approximately. It means one paper after every alternate day. You have got 60 days here, 2 months. You have appeared for one paper. Take 1 day's break, then one paper, then 1 day's break. You will be able to cover around 32 papers means 4 tests of every paper. 1 day gap again to revise as if next day is your exam. That way you can do and do the self evaluation and go on improving your performance. See, if you have done 2 to 4 times, I said minimum 2 papers per subject, maximum 4 per subject, more than that it won't be possible. If you have done this trial error at home 4 times, the next exam, institute's exam, will be your 5th exam. I think you will be much more comfortable, much more comfortable. So this is also must for all subjects, not only practical subjects. You know, you have to clear all the papers. It's simple. It's not that you don't know it, but you pretend that we don't know it. Everyone loves practical subject, including me. So we will ignore theory subject like audit, law, but what will happen if in audit you get 38 marks, what will happen? And you got 82 marks in SCMP. But what's the use? What's the use? If you get 38 marks in one paper, it has to be a balanced study or not? You have to score minimum 40 in every paper. So that 38 marks paper becomes a bottleneck operation then, if you remember the concept. That is a bottleneck that is holding you back from becoming chartered accountant. So do this 2 papers minimum, 4 papers or more if possible to you, you can try. This after revision. Now tell me, where is the spare time left? This is what is expected before the exam. I said it requires a lot of planning and equally good execution, and then you can enter the exam hall with confidence. I am a person who believes, I am telling you the truth, whether you accept it or not is immaterial. I am the person who believes watching a movie day before the exam, not after the exam. What did I say? I am a person who believes in watching a movie day before the exam, not after the exam. After the exam, everybody watches movie to relax the pressure. That okay, exam is over, last paper is over, now I will go for a movie, I will freak out, I will enjoy. Everyone wants to do that, including me also. But I am the person who would love to watch a movie day before the exam. And if I share something with you, don't get surprised. I have actually done that before my CA final exam. Tomorrow was the paper, today I was in the theatre. Those who know me, my friends, they used to tell that this fellow is mad. This fellow is mad. He has got a sure shot prescription for failure. This was the remark about me by my friends. Reason? Everyone used to study only during exam days. That is the problem. It means a person who is studying too much during exam days means very sincere. And a person who is relaxed during the exam days, it means this person is going to fail. This is the general opinion of the society. But my friends had forgotten that this person has done this planning and executed the plan, and therefore he is now in a comfortable position before the exam. This nobody knew, because we observe the behavior just few days before the exam or during the exam, how much you are studying during the exam. Mind well, in our days there was no gap also, 8 papers in 8 days, finished. Yes. Nowadays you get 1 day final, 1 day intermediate, so you have 1 day gap for each. We had continuous 8 papers except Sunday. Sunday used to be holiday in those days. So if you get Sunday, then only 1 day gap, otherwise finished, all 8 papers. And then people used to study day and night during the exam. I said, then what you were doing for here, if you have to study everything here? Is it a BCom exam that you can study in 1 day and get through? And what will be the pressure which will build up if everything is kept here? That I will study today and tomorrow I will appear for the exam. How much pressure will get built up? How much portion you will be able to cover? I think even if you start turning the pages of module, 1 day will be required just to turn the pages. Forget about studying and reading. So people keep everything for 11th hour. In our days, the final paper, if I mistake not, was in the morning, I think 8 to 11 something, if I mistake not. Now it is in the afternoon, 2 to 5. Final was in the morning, 8 to 11, and then intermediate paper was in the afternoon, same days exam was there. So students in those days, they used to study whole night for morning paper. What my memory goes right, it's correct what I am saying. Whole night for CA final morning paper. What do you think if you have studied whole night? Was the capacity left of your mind? This is completely discharged. You don't have a good sleep. because you were studying whole night, you are already tired mentally, physically, and with this tired mind and body, students used to enter the exam hall to appear for the paper. What do you think will be the result there? What is the energy left? Even in those days I used to tell them that the main battle is of 3 hours, and for that battle you have to gear up. You should keep this battery for charging. You should have a good sleep the whole night so that you are capable of attempting that paper. But then the only time left now, if tomorrow is a paper, today night I have to study. And with exhausted mind and body you enter the exam hall, the result is clear. And my friends used to look at me, this fellow is, from his face doesn't look like that he is going for an exam. It seems that he is going to play a cricket match. And I used to tell them that yes, it's a cricket match, institute versus you. Take it like that. And people used to tell me you are fool. I said okay, no problem. When I cleared both the groups and I was in the merit, some student friends fainted. They said, how this fellow cleared? The person who was sure shot to fail, he cleared in the merit. It was a big surprise for them. My friends have told me to an extent that you had got the paper earlier. I said, institute's paper, who gets? Why? They watch my behavior in which day, during which pattern? Which day is this one? Nobody knew what I did here. Even if I go to personal extent and tell you, even I stayed in the hostel. I am also from a small place and came to Pune for studies and appeared for the exam. My mother had come. All mothers in India, they are very much careful about the children's examination. It's a common thing for Indian mothers. It's more of their exam than their children's exam. She had come here just during the exam to provide us some more comfort. And she saw our behavior during exam days. I didn't used to study. What she must have reported to my father? बच्चे दिए लगाने वाले. Yeah, because she saw my behavior during exam period. So she had reported that this fellow is going to fail. Even my mother, forget about friends. But to reach to that comfort level, the sentence which I said, you should be in a position to watch a movie day before the exam, means it doesn't mean watch actually a movie. You should have reached to a level of comfort and confidence to watch a movie day before the exam. Whether you watch it actually or not is immaterial. We did it, it's a different issue. That state of mind you should have reached here. And majority students, 80-90%, what you will find? Everything they are busy studying in these days during the exam. Absolute cool comfort. And if you want to revise, I think use your summary notes which you had prepared. So in summary notes, in less time you can revise the whole subject in quick time. Important formulas, important points, important accident spots. So during the exam you can use your summary notes. Nowadays you get 1 day extra, as I said. But I would prefer that you should have reached to that level of comfort and confidence and not a tensed mind, fully tensed, fully confused before the exam. Result is sure if you are fully tensed. I will go one step ahead. Suppose you have left something, you find some matter difficult, few matters difficult to handle in every subject. This I feel is very difficult for me, this I think I am unable to handle, leave that. As a teacher I should not say this, but I am telling you, leave that. If you find it too difficult and it is troubling you a lot, leave that. This is called calculated risk. What is the probability that a question will come exactly from that part only? But I said few parts, otherwise you will say I have left entire subject, then matter is over. Some parts if you find very difficult, take that calculated risk if it is troubling you a lot. Then first of all, what is the probability that exactly the question will come from that portion? Point number 1. Point number 2, you have one extra question in the paper, so you can leave it for option. I am saying calculated risk. Again I will quote my own example best. In intermediate, in our days, intermediate, there was a mathematics statistics subject in intermediate, not found. In our days there was no foundation, no CPT, nothing. Graduation first we have to do, then intermediate, final and through. Means CA course was available only after graduation, and mathematics statistics was there in intermediate level. And in that mathematics there was that integral, calculus, trigonometry, that portion. Now being a commerce student, understanding that trigonometry, calculus, integration, what derivatives, something, limits, something I remember. I tried it a lot, but then I realized that I am unable to do well in that particular area. It is more of for science students, but it was there in commerce syllabus, our syllabus. Finally, I took the decision, leave only this much matter aside, that calculus, trigonometry, integration, derivatives, limits, something, that portion from mathematics. I was good in statistics because I had opted for statistics in BCom. When I did BCom, statistics was one option which I had opted for. So, good in statistics, 50 marks statistics, 50 marks mathematics. Remaining mathematics I did except only that much portion. That was calculated risk because it was troubling me a lot. On the basis of remaining I got through. Because for commerce students that paper was most difficult paper to get through, that mathematics and statistics paper. Every commerce student. Naturally, generally commerce students are weak in math stats, generally, barring few exceptions. So, for majority students it was a killer subject. I managed it like this. That is what I am saying, take a calculated risk, but do not take tension during exam. I mean to say you have left 10% portion for option. Instead of worrying about that 10% which you left for option, be confident about what 90% you have already done. During exam I am saying. First of all, do not leave anything for option if possible. But if you have left it for option because it is difficult or you could not find time or it is very lengthy, take a little calculated risk of 5-10% and do not worry about it now. Some people kill themselves in pressure or in tension. Do not worry about it, be confident about what 90% you have done and go to the exam hall with confidence. With confidence. You should enter the exam hall. Even I would go to the extent saying make a checklist before you enter the exam hall. Checklist meaning your admit card, calculator, 2 pens, pencil, eraser, scale, your hardboard you understand, we call pad. Why hardboard? Sometimes the exam center where we reach, the surface of that desk bench where our number is there allotted, that surface may not be smooth. So, you can use that hardboard to keep your answer paper. I used to use it for what? After first inning, first 1.5 hour, I used to relax a little. So, I used to put the answer sheet on hardboard and I used to tilt and take the backrest and then write. See, if you do not have that hardboard, you have to bend down. So, this starts aching, paining. So, you can sit back, you can relax and write because you have that hardboard and you can hold the paper. So, keep that hardboard, keep stapler. If you want to use supplement, keep stapler, and then if you are keeping stapler, keep stapler pins also for attaching the supplement, because they will give you, they won't give you stapler, I think they will give you a thread to tie the supplement. And if you remember, on supplements we are not allowed to write our roll number. We are allowed to write roll number only at one place. If that supplement gets detached from the main answer sheet, then you had it. Use stapler then. Anyway, even we didn't used to get 15 minutes extra which you get nowadays for reading the question paper. We used to get only 3 hours, everything to be done. So, you got 1 day gap, you got 15 minutes extra, these are advantages which you have, we didn't had. Anyway, so during the exam days, be cool, be comfortable, prepare the checklist before you start from your house, your hostel, wherever it is, towards exam center. Keep the checklist in front and see whether all the required things are there in your bag and then start. I have seen, I am not joking, I used to visit exam centers earlier, long back, I used to visit personally the exam centers. I have seen student going, rushing inside, already late. This paper has started, I am returning back after saying best of luck to the students, and a student I find very few, 1 or 2 rushing, they are already late by 10-15 minutes, And before I start my car, I find that student running back again. I said, what happened? Sir, calculator is left on the table. Why? Because that student was studying till last time on his study table. Last time preparation, like BCom, and calculator is left on the table. Now he will go back, will bring the calculator. 3 hours are already insufficient to write the paper, and if you are half an hour late, 1 hour late, better come in the next attempt instead of coming now. Calculator forgotten, admit card forgotten. What's foolishness? How seriously you are taking this exam? So I said, prepare a checklist, well prepared, then enter the exam hall. And I used to reach the exam hall also sufficiently in advance, half an hour early minimum. I used to welcome each of my friend. I used to tell them best of luck. My friends generally used to feel that this fellow has come only to give us best of luck. This fellow doesn't seem to appear for the exam, because on his face nowhere it appears that he is appearing for the exam. So he has just come to wish everyone best of luck. That was the opinion. I used to arrive early. Reason, there could be a traffic jam. At least 25 years before, Pune traffic was much better as compared to today. People start just few minutes before the exam time. So you haven't factored in the travelling time? Who will consider this? These are all practical things. You know it, but nobody implements it. I would suggest on the contrary, if that exam center is new for you, means if that college or whichever center is there, you are going to visit that center for the first time in your life, one day before visit that center. One day before, not on the day of exam. Try to understand the alternative roads, approaches to that exam center. Understand where is one way, where is two way, like Pune like city, where is no way, where is the parking arrangement, how much travelling time it took from your house to that place. Don't you think all these matters are also required to be studied? If that exam center is far away and it is going to take 1 hour in heavy traffic, you have to decide the starting time from your house for the exam hall. Don't you think this type of planning is required? How you can take chances for exam? If your paper is 2 to 5 and you are going to get question paper 15 minutes before, means at 1:45, correct? 1:45 you will get the question paper in your hand. And if it's 1 hour you are going to spend in travelling, when you should start from house? People don't do this planning, and you have to keep 15 minutes extra margin for traffic jam. Who knows, due to your bad luck that day was a traffic jam. People start 10-15 minutes before the exam hall, but before the exam time from house. Means matter is finished. You have studied for so much and you have done foolishness here, appearing for the exam. Reach sufficiently well in advance. Find out your exam center, occupy your seat well in advance, and then you will get the question paper 15 minutes before. I will narrate one example again of real life. I did ICWA while doing BCom. ICWA examinations were conducted in University of Pune. That was their exam center, University of Pune. If you happen to visit University of Pune campus inside, it's a jungle. You will keep travelling. If you go to a wrong route, you will keep searching where the exam center is. It's such a huge premise. And especially for newcomer, the person who visits for the first time will get utterly confused. And there was, suppose building A is here, B is not next to it, B is somewhere else. It used to take half an hour to find out where is the exam center inside the campus for ICWA. And you have never visited that place earlier, and on first day you enter 5 minutes before, search for half an hour, where is the exam center? Matter is finished. These are basic things, that visit the center 1 day before, estimate the travelling time, check the traffic condition, check where is a parking place, check where is a washroom, check where is drinking water. Nowadays drinking water you carry along with you. Check where is a washroom, check where is parking. Don't you think all this inspection is necessary if it is new to us, if the center is new to us? If it's your own college where you had studied earlier, you know everything, then that's a different matter. Now who will tell this? Other than studies also this is important. If you have entered half an hour late in the exam hall, matter is finished. So reach half an hour before the exam center, half an hour before, 15 minutes before you will get question paper. Spend those 15 minutes. spend those 15 minutes and decide your plan of action. Plan of action is first hour what to write, which to answer, second hour, third hour. Divide your 3 hours in 3 segments. And in first 15 minutes make a plan. I think yesterday only I told you when we were discussing case study that keep case study this slot if it is lengthy. But make a brief plan that what you are going to appear, what you are going to skip or leave, and in which slot you will appear. Naturally, first 1 hour you will take those questions which are simple to you. Again, it's a relative term. A question may be simple for him, may be difficult for her, or may be simple for her, difficult for her. I said you decide after spending 15 minutes of first quick reading of question paper, what you think is simple or you know better, appear that first in first 1 hour. Then take moderate questions which you think are moderate, means you can solve but not 100% confident, moderate questions, and then take difficult questions. We have studied Pareto analysis, if you remember, Wilfredo Pareto, 80-20, use it here. Easy questions, moderate questions you will solve first. If due to shortage of time you are unable to answer entire paper, which question should be left? Difficult one should be left or easy one should be left out? You think over. So start in this sequence. Difficult questions or lengthy questions you have already kept at the end. If time does not allow, time does not permit, you will leave these questions, but these marks you should pocket. See, the strategy is, this strategy what I am talking is not written in any books, this is out of my own experiences I am telling you, my experiences and some experiments on students, experiences of self. In first 1.5 hour, first 15 minutes you have spent, you have done, you have prepared a plan of action, that is strategy, how to appear for the paper, and you have started implementing the strategy. First 1.5 hour is over, first 1.5 hour is over, and you have started from simple questions. I think 50 marks paper you have solved, because you have started with simple, not difficult, because in 3 hours you are supposed to solve 100 marks paper. So I am saying in 1.5 hour you should have completed 50 marks paper, but it is that 50 marks paper which you are already comfortable with. You already have 120 marks paper, one question extra. I am saying 50 out of 120 marks. This much you have appeared in 1 hour 30 minutes, and about this you are confident, and out of this 50 you are expecting that at least 40 marks I will be able to score. You are already at break even point. See the comfort level which you will have. I think yesterday only we solved few 20 marks questions, transfer pricing simple questions. 20 marks, 2 questions you finished in half hour, and 1 more question you have finished in next half an hour, means 1 hour 30 minutes you have already solved 3 questions or 2.5 to 3 questions, 50 marks or more, and this what you have solved is simple one. So you are confident of scoring 40 out of it, so you are already at BP. That puts you in a very comfortable position, my dear friends, after first 1.5 hour, that I have almost reached to break even point. Now in next 1.5 hour I have to score more marks for margin of safety. Use this marginal costing here, achieve your break even point in first 1.5 hour, and in remaining 1.5 hour try to collect whatever you can as a margin of safety. Difficult question, write few steps. If in difficult question there are 4 sub questions A, B, C, D, you can appear, you know A, you know C, write that, forget B and D, but answer for A and C. Whatever working you can do, theory questions you can take, write something, you will get few marks, 1 mark, 2 mark, each mark is important. You are collecting only margin of safety. Whatever you can collect, don't give up, don't run away from the exam hall. You have to sit there for 3 hours and do whatever best you can. Never ever give up and run away from the exam before 3 hours, never, never ever. That is suicidal, and you will notice in mark sheets of the students you will find absent marks are there. Means people skip the exam itself, they are so much afraid of the exam that they do not go to the exam hall, or they appear for one paper, first paper, they find the paper was difficult, remaining 3 papers absent of one group. You will find many students. You are afraid of the exam, then what you will do in the real life? The real life is more challenging than exam. You have to learn to face the challenges. Simple. You have to learn to face the challenges. You cannot run away from it. Running away from difficulties are not going to solve your difficulties. You have to face with it. You have to face the difficulties, then only it gets solved. Exam is just one first step in the life to learn. You should start facing the exam. Don't run away from it. You will notice in the exam hall people run away after 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Check sometimes. In the exam hall you will notice people exiting the hall before 3 hours. Can you assume that a student who has left the exam hall after 1.5 hours, he has completed 3 hours paper in 1.5 hours? Is it possible? Means he has given up. He has simply given up and he has thought what to do in the next attempt. Never ever. I would go to an extreme, and I would tell you, if you have paid the fees of exam fees of both the groups and you are not studied well or you are not confident that you will clear either of the group, means you are thinking that both groups I will appear next time by doing better studies. Means this time I am going to fail. This is what you have decided, conclusion in your mind, but you have paid the exam fees of both the groups. My suggestion is, treat this exam, which you are even otherwise going to skip, treat this exam as test series. Test series conducted by institute. Go and write down the paper, go and appear for the exam as a test series. You may score 2 marks, no problem, go and appear. Even if you score 2 marks, no problem, but sit for 3 hours. Sit for 3 hours and write it, whatever you can. Assuming it is a test series and you are going there to fail only, but go and appear. You will find surprising results. Students have reported me. Students have reported, sir, because only you had told us in the classroom that go and appear, never give up. We didn't wanted to appear, but we went to the exam hall and we appeared and they passed. Reason? The moment they decided that we are going to fail, but sir has said therefore we have gone, the pressure gets released. Because earlier there is a pressure to pass. They knew that we are going to fail, but because sir has told, we have gone for a test series. See, everyone studies, every chartered accountancy students and especially a student who has reached to CA final level has studied earlier. Nobody goes without preparation, but we give up at the last time. And the moment that tension is released, students go to the exam hall, they appear, and sometimes they have given me the surprising result. They say, sir, we passed, we never expected. Because the pressure was working on you. Pressure was not allowing you to write. Keep yourself cool. Never exit the exam hall. Write whatever best you can in 3 hours. Each mark is important. A question is very difficult, left at the end, 20 marks question, difficult question you had left. As I said, I think yesterday only I told you, 15 minutes are left with you. You cannot attempt the whole question now, and it's already difficult. Whatever you can attempt, I am saying, whatever. You may get 1 mark extra, 2 mark extra, who knows, that may change your life. And you have cleared only on borderline, then you will realize that those 1 and 2 marks were very important. And this is the same way you have to appear for all the 8 papers, all the 8 papers. Even if one paper is bad or you feel that it was very difficult, you are unable to do justice with that paper, do not carry that pressure on next paper. Suppose paper 1 you have done badly, don't allow that pressure to affect the performance of second one. Gear up again, gear up again. Whatever has happened, happened. Next paper you have to give your best, third paper you have to give your best, and go with a positive mindset when you enter the exam hall, always with positive mindset. I have seen people when they start from home, they start with this mindset, this time I am not going to pass, I will prepare better next time, or I will join this class for next time, this class for next time. This is the thinking going on in the mind while moving towards exam hall, that you are going to attempt next time better. You are surely going to attempt in the next time only, because you had already decided, you had already given up mentally. Go with the intention, with the mindset, no, I am going to get through in the same exam, in this exam only. I mean to say, just keep a positive mindset. It has recalled a story in my mind, a cricket match only. It was 50-50 overs cricket match, that is one day cricket. There was a match between Australia and South Africa. I don't exactly remember the scores. South Africa and Australia 50 overs, one day match, and Australia batted first and they had scored 400 plus. 400 plus is a very big score, nobody had done that in one day cricket. It's a long back story, some 10, 15, 20 years back might be. Australia batting first, score 400 plus in one day cricket, which was very difficult. Even in test match you don't score this much. They scored 400 plus, which was a record, world record at that time. And followed by the next batting was of South Africa. It's a world famous match. Now what South African team might have thought? There were two ways of thinking. One, my God, 400 plus. Okay, you won, we won't play. Why to play then? You have won, declare that and don't go to the field. But South African players decided in the dressing room there, when these people can score 400 on this pitch, why can't we? Why can't we? And my dear friend, that world record was not there for long. South African team did the longest run chase in the one day cricket history, and they scored those runs and they won the match. It is called the longest run chase in the one day cricket history. You can search it later on Google, you will get the scores also, day of the match also, everything you will get. Nowadays everything is available on internet, but that's for sure. This incidence is for sure. It means with what mindset of South African team might have entered the pitch or the cricket ground? No, we are going to win. That mindset is very important, my dear friends. See, it's again a cricket match, as I said. When you enter the exam hall, enter with the intention, this is the only attempt in which I am going to clear. This is positive attitude, which will make you work. If you enter with the mindset, no, this time I am going to fail, I will appear next time. You are going to appear next time. We say commonly, there is a proverb that if you think you can, or you may think you cannot, either way you are correct. What did I say? If you think you can or you think you cannot, either way you are correct. If you think you can, you will. If you think you cannot, you will not. I am saying whatever level of preparation is done, at last moment don't give up. Go with confidence, whatever you know, go and do your best in the exam hall, don't run away. And keep this attitude in life also. You are going to encounter many challenges in your real life, even post qualification life. Take my words. Real life is not that easy. Even after becoming CA, you are going to face challenges. You have to learn to face challenges. You should not develop a habit of running away from challenges. Running away from challenges will never solve the problem. You have to face it and learn it from the exam hall. First start facing the exam, then you will start facing challenges of real life. That is my word. Go appear, complete the exam. Don't take much pressure. Sometimes people have a habit of discussing the paper with other friends. The moment paper is over, we try to discuss with others, what's your answer, what's your answer. You can discuss, no problem. But if you have a habit of getting tensed by discussing, because sometimes what happens, I am discussing my answer with my friend and that friend is more intelligent than me. He says, no, my answer is this. I say, no, my answer is this. And I know that he is more intelligent, means his answer might be correct. So I get demoralized. If I get demoralized and this is going to have impact on next paper, don't do the discussion. It means if you do it without any disturbance to your mind. And if you are going to get disturbed, don't do the discussion. It is post-mortem activity or otherwise. What you are going to get benefited by discussing, tell me? Is it going to increase or decrease your marks? By discussing the paper, which is already gone. So if it is going to disturb you, do not discuss. Do not discuss. Go home, take a rest first. You have already exhausted your mind for 3 strenuous hours. Go home, have some food, take a rest, means put it for charging. Allow it to cool off, it is already heated. It has already taken up the challenge of 3 years. Don't go and study immediately. Take a cool rest, right? Rest for 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, cool down, then start revising for next day, next paper. This is the way you have to complete this entire journey. And then after all papers are over, do whatever you want. But do whatever you want for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, over. After the exam. There is something here also. Let us take a situation. What is to be done here? A student has appeared only for group 1. It means you have to appear for group 2 in any case, or you have appeared for group 2, then you are going to appear for group 1 in the next attempt. I think that preparation has to be done. So I am taking one situation that here you have appeared for either of the group, either 1 or 2, and one group is left for next attempt. After 3-4 days relaxation, 2 days to 4 days relaxation, start revising for next group. For example sake, I will take group 1 you have appeared, group 2 you are going to attempt next time. Complete your group 2 revision and self-testing till the time your result is out. And I think after appearing for the exam and your result, I think there is a gap of only 2 months. Am I right? 2 months gap. Your exam is concluded and the result is due. 2 months gap. So you have 2 months before your result. 2 months for result. I am saying in these 2 months you should complete this revision and self-testing of remaining group as if you are going to appear for that group on the day of result. See what I said. You should have prepared for next group as if you are going to appear for the exam on which day? On the day of result. To that extent you should have completed. Means you are ready for the exam on the day on which your first group's result was due. Why I am saying this? Suppose group 1 which you had appeared you have cleared, it's very good. For group 2 you will get more time to do revision and self-testing. However, unfortunately this group which you had appeared here you have failed. Now I said your group 2 is ready as if you want to give up exam on the result day. So group 2 is fully ready. Group 1 you have already appeared once and failed. Do the analysis, variance analysis. You have learned standard costing, do it in real life. Where you have gone wrong and why you have gone wrong. Find out the causes, improve upon them and give the remaining time for group 1. Group 2 you are already ready by the time of result. Group 1, find out the gaps which are our weak areas, remove those weaknesses and get ready for both the groups in next attempt. I hope you got the plan. By the time of result, you are already through with group 2, ready for group 2's exam. And if group 1 is failure, remaining time you will use for revision and self-testing of group 1. And again you have to appear for both the groups and you should or you must clear in the next attempt both the groups. Now let us take another situation. You have appeared for both the groups here. Both the groups. So you do not have to appear in the next attempt, isn't it? But I think 90% people appear again in the next attempt. Why I said this 90% people? What is the percentage result? 10, maximum 15, both the groups. So the probability that both the groups which you had appeared here, you will be successful in both the groups is 10 to 15% only. So still 80-85%, 90% probability is there that you may fail. But we will waste this 2 months time in just waiting for the result. First of all, you should complete your GMCS and all other formalities also, because without that you do not get membership if those formalities are left. But in these 2 months I would suggest at least be in touch with studies. Be in touch with studies. You are not studying that vigorously which you were studying here, but remain in touch with study, means keep studying a little bit, keep solving one question or odd questions. Do not lose touch with studies. It means nothing but during exam days your vehicle was in top gear, let us say, as far as study is concerned. From top gear you have come down to second gear, means you have slowed down the speed, but you have not lost the touch with studies, means your vehicle is in moving condition. If the result is failure, I think you had not lost touch with study, you have to only change the gear now. You were driving the vehicle in second gear till result. If result is adverse, put the vehicle again in top gear, next attempt you have to get through, because you have already attempted once, means you have already studied once. So for next attempt what you have to do? Only revision, or you have to fill up the gaps wherever you were weak, but get ready. Now what happens if we lose the touch with studies completely, assuming that we are going to pass both the groups? If the touch with the studies is lost, means the mind gets rusted. Like a vehicle which is not in a moving condition, you park it in the shade, you park it at the parking place and don't even start the vehicle, what will happen? It will get rusted, it won't start later on. If the vehicle is in a moving condition, you have to just put it in a top gear. I mean to say, you will be more comfortable if you have not lost the touch with studies, you can immediately gear up for both the groups again. Otherwise this time is lost, result is out, result is adverse, and you will find that okay, again after 2.5 months my exam is due and how I will prepare for 8 papers again. So again that pressure will come, because these 2 months are lost already. You only lost these 2 months, time will not come back. So what's the problem in being touch with studies? Or this studies, even if you clear both the groups, this study which you are in touch with, this will help you in interviews, job interviews. There is no harm, nothing is going to get wasted, studies will never get wasted, and that too logical study, won't go to waste. But why to take the risk? Be prepared for adverse performance, adverse result also. But next attempt should not be lost. You had enough of experience of one attempt. Next attempt you have to see to it that you will get through. But you have to do a very faithful analysis, variance analysis, where exactly you have committed the errors. And work on those weak areas. I think once we had talked about SWOT analysis, it was in the syllabus somewhere, strength, weakness, opportunities, threats. See, this result should be able to help you to understand your strength and weaknesses. You have to strengthen your strengths and you have to weaken your weaknesses. You have to remove those weaknesses and gear up for the next. This according to me is the plan. One more important thing, even if the result is failure, don't get depressed. See, failure result nobody accepts or nobody likes, neither you nor me, nobody. That's for sure. Everyone would like to get through in the first attempt. But in CA exam you have 80-85% failures. So don't get demoralized. You have to gear up again. This is going to happen in CA results. You have to gear up again. Don't lose the hope. And gear up for next attempt. I have seen some people, they crash completely. They say, as if I am useless, I have no value in this world, I have no future left. All these type of thoughts start coming in the mind, especially for those students who were throughout from schooling days, they were first, second in the school, they were in the merit list in the board, and first time they have experienced the failure in C exams. You will find such students, first time they experience the failure, then they give up everything. They feel that they cannot do anything in life. It's not like that. It's not like that. Failure is the first step towards success. Failure teaches more than success, on the contrary. So you should not go into depression mode. It's a CA exam. 85% chance is that you will fail, and that is the statistics which proves. So what's wrong in it? You are with the majority, not minority. But do that analysis, variance analysis, and gear up for the next attempt. Don't give up again. Don't start crying. 1 or 2 days you will feel bad, that's okay. That's okay, no problem. 2 days, 3 days, finished. You have to gear up again. Have you learned cycling? See, in our childhood we used to get cycle only, not two-wheelers that easily. Cycle also after lot of waiting period. When we learn cycle, do you think in first attempt we start using the cycle with confidence? First attempt, someone is holding on the back side and teaching you to do cycling. The moment he loses the control or he stops holding, you may fall down. If you fall down from the cycle, we have fallen down so many times. If you fall down from the cycle, should we say that no, I cannot learn, I will give up? Is that the way to learn? No, you have to get up again. If you have fallen down, you have to get up. Do the dusting. Handle might have got twisted. make it straight, start again, next trial, you may fall down again, third trial. This is the way we have learned cycling. I don't know how you learned. That's the only way of life, or you should give up. Who learns in the first attempt? Nobody. So why to give up? Reaching to CA final stage means you have some intellectual capability, otherwise you would not have reached to this level. Don't give up. And now here comes that poem, right, which will charge you, which will motivate you. It's already written there on the last page of your notes. It's a poem written by Harivansh Rai Bachchan. Poem is in Hindi, written by Harivansh Rai Bachchan, father of Amitabh Bachchan. This poem was there in our school days in a Hindi textbook. We had Hindi as one language, and the Hindi textbook was there in which that poem was there. And those teachers of those days, they used to make us learn these poems by heart. I still remember that, and that's a very motivating poem. Any time in life you feel depressed, you can read that poem again. So I'll recite it because I still remember from my school days. The poem says, the title of the poem is Haar Nahi Hoti, right? A great poem written by Harivansh Rai Bachchan, who is no more now. लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेकर चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों पर 100 बार फिसलती है, मन का उत्साह रगों में सांस भरता है, गिरकर चढ़ना चढ़कर गिरना न करता है, आखिर उसकी मेहनत बेकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। डुबकियां सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता है, सिंधु मैंने सागर में, डुबकियां सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता है, जा जाकर खाली हाथ लौटकर आता है, मिलते न सहज ही मोती गहरे पानी में, मिलते न सहज ही मोती गहरे पानी में। ये सीए डिग्री भी आसानी से नहीं मिलती। हाँ, मिलते न सहज ही मोती गहरे पानी में, बढ़ता दूना उत्साह इसी हैरानी में, मुट्ठी उसकी खाली हर बार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। असफलता एक चुनौती है, स्वीकार करो। इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं हम, फेलियर इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड सक्सेस। असफलता एक चुनौती है, स्वीकार करो, क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो, क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो। वेरिएंस एनालिसिस बाय हुम? हरिवंश राय बच्चन। असफलता एक चुनौती है, स्वीकार करो, क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो, जब तक सफल न हो नींद चैन की त्यागो तुम, संघर्षों का मैदान छोड़ मत भागो तुम, अरे कुछ किए बिना ही जय जय कार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। फ्रेंड्स, विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट, होप टू सी यू सून एज चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स।